Hello, the chat is acting up on me again. Give me a second. Okay, here we are. So, bringing up a new challenge today, guys. We went to the Museum of Osaka's history, and no tripod, no handles can be allowed in here. So, it will be handheld or handheld all the time. So sorry for the non-stabilization, guys. So this is what we went to see the ruins of. Sheet energy we saw before. So this is a brief presentation of what we're gonna see during the visit. Salut Lady. And you, Mishima, in the end for the Expo 2025. Ok, so. Comme je disais, Lady, je peux pas avoir de tripode ou de gimbal ou quoi que ce soit ici, donc c'est tout porté à la main aujourd'hui. Alors ça va être un peu relou, mais voilà. Donc, ici on nous place Naniwa Capital sur la route de la soie, principalement. On a des marqueurs historiques également à différents endroits, sur différents sites. Voilà, juste pour une mise en bouche. Donc il y a quelques jours, nous sommes allés voir les ruines du palais Naniwa. Et donc ici, ils ont fait une petite reproduction du palais. On a le personnel de cour, on a toute cette charpente qui a été imitée. Et donc on nous donne la vue sur les ruines que nous sommes allés voir de l'autre côté de l'autoroute. So here you get some English explanation. So the later Naniwa Palace and reconstructed Daigokuden. Now we are inside of the reconstructed Daigokuden main entrance hall. The building is thought to be situated at the Naniwa Palace Historic Site Park. So you need to imagine it over there. Donc la résidence impériale était au niveau du parking là. Et le site qu'on a vu, c'était le hall d'audience en fait, principal. So all this is hypothetic, but costumes are from the period, so basically 6th century, 6th, 7th century. So this is proven by different places, so it's all right. We don't know that for sure, but the Naniwa Palace is more of a mystery. It was a second residence to the emperor. It became main residence, it seems, for a few years, at the time when the emperor wanted to move from Nara to Kyoto. So it is very close to China in the decorum, in the different costumes. It is very China influenced. So those are the chamberlain. You can notice the hat, the wooden stick, the shoes. Much to notice about those people. The one in the back being the imperial retainer. An imperial retainer actually, not that. A retainer. Un vassal. Those are formal attendants. And so, of course, the emperor and empress were on this higher stage. They do appear like this. Imperial throne does appear like this at the time of change of generation. So we saw it recently. So the imperial throne is the seat of the emperor placed in the center of the Daigokuden for special national ceremonies. The throne itself sits atop a curtained, 8-sided wooden platform with a roof decorated by phoenixes and mirrors. The entire throne set could be disassembled and moved to different locations. The throne was brought to Naniwa on February 16, 744 as a symbol of imperial authority from the capital at Kuni in present-day Kamocho in Kyoto. Yeah. That precise dating is a bit questionable. Yo, Shenril. Bah oui, il y a de la musique dans le musée. Il y a une ambiance sonore, sinon ça vaudrait pas le coup. So those are haniwa. So they were placed. They were objects placed around tombs of important people. So they reproduced boats of this kind, and those were reproductions to be put around the dead. So Naniwa was an important arrival and departure port from the Seto Inland Sea waterway. Large number of goods and people came not only from all the western Japan area to the Naniwa, but also from the mainland China and Korea. Furthermore, the Naniwa port prospered as a hub of water traffic because a marshy area called Kusakae, which spreads out east of the Uemachi upland. They forgot to put a verb in there. Boat-shaped haniwa from the Takamawari tomb in Nagahara tomb cluster in southern Osaka City are believed to be an indicator of the importance of sea travel in the Naniwa area during this time. So as we've seen at the temple on Midosuji, Osaka was a bay area. There was an inner bay that changed over time, okay, during main occupation basically. It has changed a lot. So top left, the image is from minus 3000 to minus 2000 BC. Then picture 2 top right is BC time. Then bottom left is 5th century, and to the bottom right it's nowadays. So the old period was a Naniwa, and there was a Jomon and a Yayoi periods. So several settlements were formed during the Jomon and Yayoi periods at the Morinomiya site on the edge of a bay that spread out from the eastern seaside of the Emachi Terrace. The people of this site consumed fish, shellfish, and other marine resources and made extensive use of this marine transportation. Earthenware pronunciation. Produced in a variety of distant places, as well as a red lacquer comb were found at this site, suggesting that the villages here prospered through exchange. So this is the lacquered comb they talk about. So those are archaeological findings. Once again, guys, sorry for the stabilization. I'm hand-holding today because handles are not allowed in the museum. So here you see the area of the Kohun, south of Osaka. We'll go there in the future. Those are haniwas that you put around tombs. Here you have the warehouses, of which we have a reproduction downstairs that we saw before in an earlier stream. So Osaka back in the day is really to be pictured to look like this. This is 7th-8th century, and this river going through the town, it looks, that's actually man-made. I'm doing research at the moment about it, and this was man-made. It's a huge, one more huge construction project they had there. Let's see, we'll zoom a bit. Here you have the Shitennoji for a bit of a later period, that's 7th century. And those are archaeological findings related to the Naniwa Palace. So when it was reopened, when they finally found it, you know, it was this kind of sites that they unearthed. And that is the second half of the 20th century, actually. So the Naniwa Palace was used from AD 652 to 784 and was located in the present Oenzaka district, Chuo Ward, Osaka City. It is situated at the northern end of the Uemachi upland. You see that the Uemachi site is, they use different names for it. It's pretty strange. Which is aligned north to south. Two separate palaces remains two separate palace remains are located on this site. The investigation of which began in 1954. The two palaces are now referred as the former Naniwa Palace and the later Naniwa Palace. So it's a mix. It burnt and remade. Here you do get, so you see on that image, the orange, that's the upland, Uemachi upland they talk about. Ok, should be back now. Oui, une erreur de bouton. Les boutons sont pas bien placés, je trouve. Enfin bon. Voilà le palais. So here is the palace. So this is the former. Ceramic that was found in different places. And some of those were actually used to crush. And there was explains the change of style over time. So this palace is one where you had this kind of older style of things. This was on the roof. So some Chinese places do remind us of Naniwa. So Naniwa was inspired by Chinese of the same period, it seems. Very small remains from, for example, the Fujiwara Palace at that time. Was probably something very big, but just a small it's not a wood, it's what? The bosque. Just that remain. Those trees remain on the site. So here they explain the designs. So yeah, not everything is in English, only the very light explanations are made in English. Hopefully at some point they will make bigger, longer translations. But I guess with a smartphone, for the stuff you really want to read, you can use the automatic translation, I think. I want to go back to that car, that map over there. Okay, Stream Elements is very slow to the reaction when I have the connection problems. So here they explain how the roofs were tiled and things. They show you how they make sense of the pieces they found. Here is a later Naniwa Palace. So considering the ancient imperial palaces in Japan, so before it moved to Tokyo, here are the official 5. So you have the Asuka, Nara, Naniwa, oh, why is it skipping me? Kyoto, of course, Heian, and then in the middle it's Nagaoka. Why don't I just read the thing? Okay, anyways. So those are the 5 palace grounds of ancient times. And with the recent city, you see here with the red lines the way the city was organized in the old days. It was organized with straight lines, just like Kyoto. And you can notice that a little bit of it remains in the current structure of Osaka. So here we are in the first millenary. So compared to Europe, you have a lot more ruins, many more ruins, objects, discovering written sources for the European history than for the Japanese history. And up to the 5th, actually, you don't have written information about Japan, except from the Chinese that didn't come that often. So blacksmith, Japanese blacksmith of the 7th century. A roof tile workshop. How they made coins. So they made coins with a hole in the middle so that you could put a string or a small piece of metal to pile them up and carry them more easily. Si tu veux des précisions en français, Lady, n'hésite pas. Hein. Je pense pas à tout faire en français, mais s'il y a des endroits où tu veux vraiment être plus sûr, n'hésite pas à demander. So, construction site. Yeah, it's actually a dismantlement. That was the dismantling of the Naniwa Palace after the emperor moved to Kyoto. And it was not an imperial palace anymore. And so this is the move from Naniwa to Nagaoka. It was made by boat. So actually I've read recently, thanks to one of my students, that for the 2025 Expo, they are planning to modify the river between Osaka and Kyoto and make the boat trip between Osaka downtown and Fushimi, south of Kyoto, possible by train. So, too bad for the reflection, but here we have the castle. The memorial we saw. Some parts we didn't do yet. They could have, just put a bending glass, not a corner like this. That would have made better pictures. Anyways, so this is the view. We will now go down for the next part. I hope the connection will hold. think the view is better from here. Still the problem of the corner thing, but I like it better from here. So moving to the next room. So I like this museum because they illustrate their point with a lot of miniatures. So this is a medieval Osaka district, close, smaller than district actually. You see that it seems that tiles were held down by stones. So those miniatures are very fun because it's a good thing to take pictures. You know, you can take pictures of ancient Japan that are somewhat interesting. You can see some of those on my Instagram. So the site of the Naniwa Palace, the Imperial Palace, was reused by a temple, by Buddhist community from the Jodoshu, so one of the main school of Buddhism in Japan, and that's the one the emperor is part of, I think. And so it became a huge site. It was a very famous big temple with huge grounds, and this is one of the halls. This is a Goeido, to the scale of 1/25. So you see, here with the perspective and things, you can do fun pictures. They also demonstrate you where architecture was managed. You see how they manage the long beams. All the beaming is well documented here. So guys, actually I did take a camera with me, a real one, so I will put you down, even though I don't have a tripod. I will put you down. While I will attempt to take some pictures. So give me a second to try to find out how I can manage the phone without making you feel sick or anything. I'm not finding a solution at the moment. Wait. Need to take the bag off. Whoops. That was an interesting picture of the grounds. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I guess what I'm gonna do is I will use the bag, and that should work. So I will take out what I need first. If I had known I couldn't... Oops, what fell? If I had known I couldn't use anything but my hands, I would have not brought so much stuff in my bag. It could have been so much lighter. So I will leave you like this for a minute and go take pictures. It's not straight enough. Oh. Will this work? Okay, I'll leave you like this, guys. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. I will have to fix the image. The lens went off. Okay, blurriness is gone. So this is it. So Hilano, where we went, was an autonomous city, just like Sakai. It was bound around this site. So this painting, it's a votive image of the Tsuyoshi family ship. So that's the one that was with the Honganji. So a temple community is developed, let's say, at the northern tip of the Bemachi Terrace around the Osaka Honganji Temple that was established in 1533. So you see, it took a long time. It took quite a few hundred of years to become something else. Over 10,000 merchants, craftsmen and so, and living in 6 main districts with the temple community. And it had a tax exemption since it was related to the imperial power. So here you have the reproduction of one of the numerous bridges that were all over town. Town had to have a lot of channels to channel the water. So you see all those waterways, they all needed bridges over. So Osaka had a lot of bridges. So what is very fun is like they use old representation from the Edo period. So this was the fish market, the Zakoba fish market. Which was maybe something like where Awaza is now. So the ancestor of the Fukushima wholesale market. I have the bridge in the way, so I can't really get you a great picture. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if I can do something with the camera. They have a lot of audio illustration of what's going on, so it's pretty fun. It makes it quite lively, full of example of life in the place. It's really a pain to not have anything to put the phone on. They also have those fresks. Quite nice. It's paper cuts basically. It's big. So it makes reference to many things. This is like a stock market kind of. It's not stock actually. It's a market for how do you say? First necessities. So rice and these kind of things. So this one they refer to it as the Dojima market. That was the one for rice. But there are other ones for
それを仲買人同士で売り買いするのが米市なんですわ。そやさかい米市言うても米は見当たりませんやろ。ここで売り買いして手に入れた米切手を蔵屋敷に持ってって米に。
So the funniest part is the guy throwing water to the right, because the guy is actually signaling the time of the end of trading. So to calm the patients down, make them stop, they would spread water on them to chase them. That was the best way to stop the trading. It's a bit, how to say, you know, a bit extreme, but you know, makes fun things.
幕末からは旗で知らせてまして、こないだことから大阪が経済の中心と言われたんですね。
So they do their best to value, you know, the patrimony they have. Try to revive what was lost. For a good part by the war, you know, the bombings of 1945, it destroyed the biggest part of history of the city. Here it is the fruit and vegetable garden. Okay, food out, okay. So that was a different time, and there was not as much passion. They didn't have the water stop, the water trading stop in that place, because it was not as passionate to get this trading on. The Achi Kenya port. So that was the starting point of river traffic connecting Kyoto and Osaka on the Yodo River. It was crowded with travelers and boats. It took one day to go up to Fushimi, to go upstream, and downstream was half a day. So that's why you see different profiles of the stick guys and people that are transported. So this is the start of the tradition of the dragon boats during Tenzin Matsuri. On the religious side, here you get the information about the Kiyomizu-dera, the Shin Kiyomizu-dera. There was a new Kiyomizu-dera made in Osaka where there was a waterfall just like in Kyoto. So 1632, I think it was, when the Kyoto Shinkyo Mizudera sent a statue of Kannon to consecrate the site of Shinkyo Mizudera. The thing has disappeared for the most part, for the biggest part, at the wall.
よいしょ。坂道はしんどいわ。
So it was on one of the 7 zaka, so slope of the country, of the city. So this is a Larry show. We'll have to come back to see it for you to get. The Sumitomo Copper Refinery we have encountered before in our visit of Kitahama. So this one is animated, kind of, you know. It turns around and they show you how the site was. So it is quite a few interesting details you grab in here. You can give a try at taking pictures of the interiors. But I prefer the workshop for the pictures. More interesting for me to see the workshop from here. So I found those miniatures quite interesting. It's way more south than we could have imagined from the visit in Kitahama. And so at the end of the 16th century, Hideyoshi Toyotomi took over the site of the Honganji after Nobunaga had it destroyed, and he had his castle built. So this part becomes very geeky because Osaka people are very passionate about Toyotomi and all this era. So here you have the plan map of the Saga Fifth Dome Osaka warehouse. We will go again to the other room to see that. We will go back to it because now that we have seen this, we will talk a little bit about trade. We will see how the rich families were handling trade. So there was a cotton boat race at the Kawaguchi port at that time. So basically Osaka became the main place for the trade of food, at least in West Japan, but for some things even for all Japan. That's where traders started businesses like Sogo and Daimaru, which became big department stores nowadays, but they have been huge empires with shops, warehouses, transportation, banks, and things. Here you have something copper, I think. This is copper business. You have a float. This hat, you should remember, you should memorize it, because you will see it when we do the Otawe next year at Sumiyoshi Taisha. So that's a hat on the hat adorned with flowers of ueme. And the Miko in charge of the rice plants do wear it during the ceremony. This is the document, I think, that were used for the Otawe Shinji reconstitution that they have in Sumiyoshi Taisha every year. Wow. It's forbidden to drink in the museum. So we'll have to overcome this by massage. This is what you will find in another district. So this is for the Shinmachi Yukaku. Here you get miniatures. For the Otawe Shinji. Different characters that you will see during this. We'll try to take a peek. Okay guys, I will put you down for a second. I'm sorry we have no stabilization today because it's forbidden in here. So here we are. So if you plan to come to this museum, you can take pictures only with your phone, with no handle, no tripod, no selfie stick. Here they talk about Bunraku. Bunraku was born in Osaka, they say. So you have the puppets they use that are demonstrated here. You can even try to manipulate one in this stand, but with the current situation, it's not possible. Osaka is fascinated with tigers, so you will see tigers now and then, but not only. You will have fantastic elephants and animals as such in other places. It's related to Shinto. This is the ukiyo-e that has the Osaka sign on it. We saw it before in Agahoribashi. Mount Tempo, the Tempozan. We will go visit the Tempozan at some point, and we will see it will have changed a lot. It is the lowest mountain of Japan, so you will see at that time. Great Fire in Osaka Castle in 1868. Can I get a good enough picture of that? No, not bad. Okay. Theaters from the Dotonbori. So you see it was big theaters. You see the seating arrangement is organized the same way than the sumo seating is arranged these days. The squares, every reservation had a square, and you would have actors going through the crowd to the stage. So no at first, kabuki after that. So this is a Kado theater, scale 1/20. So that was on Dotonbori. So Dotonbori, they hint at what Dotonbori was back then. And it was a clean, like watery neighborhood. It was a bit like Venezia. That's why the surname came at that time. I think it had a Venezia feeling in the way people would deal with the channel, especially in Dotonbori. In this area, so this is Semba. You see how the neighborhood was organized. Images, even with my wide angle are not as great as really seeing the thing. So I do recommend, I think it's worth it to come here to see this. You can have a feel of old Japan, and after you can go to the UR Museum, and you will actually be able to walk in a small reproduction of this neighborhood. The only hint they don't show so well that there were separations between neighborhoods. Here you had gates separating neighborhoods. Let's have one more look at the float. There is a nice statue on the front of the float. This looks good. Okay, my settings are just killing me because I can't set what I want, but what's the best way to go see what I want? Go back this way, I guess. So I was saying that trade was important for Osaka at that time. Osaka was the main place for trade. So the influential families had their warehouses with their connection to the river. So here you see a representation on the wall how the city could have been in that area. So this is more likely on Nakanoshima. So you would have a waterway from the river to the domain. They would have an inner pond with a shrine, with a business shrine. And then you would have the warehouses in the domain and the living quarters. it was not only what is built here, all you would have here that is drawn, okay? All that would be used. So that one for sure was a big complex. This was one complex. So a warehouse complex, they give you the explanation in English. So the residences of feudal lords and Hatamoto, the shogun's direct retainers in Osaka, were mainly used to store and sell rice, which had been collected as a form of taxation and the specialties of the region. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You're making a movie.
Making a live video, yes,
Oh, okay,
about
cool.
it, so,
I'm
to
sorry.
make people come. Oh, no problem,
No.
no issues. It's a very
No, I was wondering why you were. Why you, I thought you were doing it and reading. Yeah.
I was reading it for
Yeah.
people online, yes. So what we have as sources for those is those stamps. So the ukiyo-e. We used to have remains, at the time we could take pictures. So here you have that picture was taken, as they don't say, but I think end of 19th century. This room is my favorite one. It really brings the mood. If you pay attention to all details, you have lots of old Osaka feeling to it. So I like it a lot. I didn't show you the screens, but it speaks only Japanese. But they show you old maps and they kind of animate the displays they made. He's talking in Osaka dialect. So once he's done here, you have sounds here you follow. Okay, that's the port. I didn't do the port. Okay. So that is the mouth of the river. And goes on like this. I love to have those bridges, above people. I like the feeling of this room. That's my favorite one. So the main issue you might have is you will tell me that actually all explanations are in Japanese. Yeah, that's a problem. So one way to fix that actually is at the entrance there is a small shop, and for a small price, I think for 1,000 yen, you can buy a booklet that explains the most important information of the museum room by room. And I think it's a good investment. You can keep that in your library for a long time. Pass it on, it's a good enough book to keep somewhere. It can be a kind of a good souvenir. And you can buy it before to visit and read the explanations in English in it, because it's in English, during your visit. I think it's the best choice. I will show it to you on my word. There are extended versions for those who want to spend more money. But the short version, which is 1,000 yen, I think, is good enough. So here we arrive at the thing of Greater Osaka. So Osaka had its peak success beginning of the 20th actually. We had the Osaka modernism, where the city was modernized to be more like Western cities. They integrated the subway, they made big avenues, they opened the city to cars basically, which it was not really meant for before. And yeah, the city became quite important, or no, it was already very important. So, how to say it? It had its climax, kind of. You'd say yes. It was the economic capital of Osaka, of Japan, over Tokyo. Still, and that was definitely ruined by the war when it was burned down, and it was not reconstructed as rich as it was before. So here you have 2 levels. We will go down to the other level, but here they show you the buildings built at the beginning of the 20th century. So to the left you can recognize the Osaka station, the first red light of the city, pavement with doors, the dressing style that changed, the different buildings built at that time. Three new locomotions, means of locomotion that came by. Motorcycles, bicycles and cars. And we will go down to enjoy the feel of maybe before that I will put back my camera in my bag. I know that there will not much worthy for my camera coming up. The smartphone will be enough for the last sections. Whoa. So about all this stabilization problems because of the rules of the place. Almost done, guys. Okay, hop. It's in the bag. We're closing the bag. Okay, and locking the sides. Almost there, guys. One lock. Two locks. Okay, and we are going. So we can see from the top, you know. So here they tell you what are those buildings they're showing you. So from up here you see what used to be the theaters like. On the other side you do have the animation for the kids. So it's kind of interesting. I'm going the wrong way, wait. Oh, there are 2 parts actually, I forgot, yeah. So first you have an additional room that shows you about the digging of the Naniwa Palace. So a lot of this is still going on actually, because they discover new places when they build new buildings in some areas. You see caging and things for foundations. You have to be a specialist to identify those things. It's not quite obvious. It's not like Roman ruins in Europe and things like this. So here you have an example of what's considered as a grid for the old city. The upland of Rimachi actually has changed over time, so they don't know exactly how the grid is interconnected with what we have now. So as I was saying, to the right we also have the kids animation, which is some activities the kids can enjoy. You can actually do fake digging. I'll get back to the so obviously it's not going on these days, but it usually does. So you get explanation. You can actually do it in English. Explanations are in Japanese, unfortunately. But they will basically take the kids through some excavating analysis and stuff. So, you know, if your kids are a bit into history and things, old things, it's a nice activity. They show you old pieces. I want to get some prints of those maps, and I wonder where those are made and printed. I need to find the books doing that. See, the kids will have to clean up and make reconstitutions with pieces. They will be told of what you find at various depths. It's not too long, so you know, they don't get bored. They do something unusual and things, so it's pretty fun. I do recommend it. Can be managed in a non-Japanese language. So let's go down to modern Osaka. I'm looking for ways to show you my books and stuff, my sources about those things. The programs from home were not satisfying for this kind of points. So I'm looking for other ways to show. Pretty sure it will be with a podcast. I might double my podcast that is in French at the moment with an English version to consult with in coordination with the videos. I'm still working that out. So my second favorite period and room. You have all the feel. So you remember the building, the brick building on Nakanoshima. That's the period for it. This is industrialization. You do have Luna Park. Look how industry was all over town. I don't know how to cut this. Ah, it sucks. Okay. Maybe this way you see it better. See all those smoke, this smoke, all those cranes over Osaka. All those factories. So this is probably Tamatsukuri. It's not actually, okay. Production for wood. So this is a period where actually Osaka-shi extended and integrated nearby cities. So now we have Osaka-fu, and Osaka-shi is quite big in Osaka-fu. But before that, Osaka-shi was actually pretty small. And in the 30s, 1932, I think, it integrated all the cities around. And what we know as Osaka City now was not before. It's integrated. So now nowadays, some politicians want to do this thing again, and they want to integrate all cities of Osaka-fu to the city. They want to merge the city and the prefecture. So of course the first transportation, north and south, public telephones back in the day, stalls like in Tsuruhashi, of course industry in the heart of the city, still happening nowadays. You still have some small factories, especially steel work. Home workers, like modest. The first Western modern shops that opened on Shinsaibashi. Moving the Japanese from the traditional kimono to the Western style dresses for girls and women. The hat, I forgot how to say this, how to name this hat, but okay, this became very popular with Japanese. So they would mix it with kimonos and stuff. So those shops developed in Shinsaibashi, where you have, Louis Vuitton, Cartier, and all these kind of shops. The Apple store as well. Rakugo, I guess, is practicing Rakugo. He has a Go game by his side. Houses started to be more westernized as well. You see, different hat, but the hat became popular. The fur color on the coat. Still the gaiter to the feet, but So things were to be precious and taken care of, so they would cover their furniture to protect it. A stove to warm up the room. So on the walls you have screens with images from back then, and you do have pictures mixed on the wall to show you the time. The Namba or Dotonbori theaters. So much to see actually. On the other side you have Rakugo practice, so there is kind of an opposition between the Osaka Rakugo and Tokyo Rakugo. So there are things to unearth that way. Modern Osaka on the screen from the beginning of the 90s, I think. If I recognize the cars and environment. Come on, start again. Okay, I will turn around and I'm sure you will start when I'm turning around. So it's small, but you know, you can still come here and enjoy somewhat the feeling of it. These details you cannot see anymore. So okay, this countdown is very annoying actually. You should not do that. That was a countdown to what? Epilogue, Osaka, Kara. Okay, Shinseikai. We've seen that. Oh, Luna Park. Tennoji. Before reform. And before reform. OBB. Okay, that has changed a lot because it was not a business, yeah, it was a military base before. Bombing of 45, March 45. The castle didn't burn down. The buildings around the castle burned, but not the castle itself. Or what we call the castle these days. Some Shoten guy, 17s. And that's it. So behind this, what do we have? So mostly end of 19th century, beginning of 20th. The reconstruction of the castle finished in 1931. the first elevator, I think, of the city, and its signs and things. Here you remember from Kitahama the stock market. Bottom is the first design and up is the current design. You see it has changed. Luna Park and the Expo 70. Two big things. The Luna Park was inspired by the Expo actually in France and England. And then it became the Expo in 17. Takino Seishindo, which is a factory. A guide map of 1940. City was smaller back then for the interesting parts. The Osaka cotton mill. This is a Yotsubashi. So that was Kintetsu, I guess. I will have to read the kanji, I can't. There is no English to this one. Okay, we are back correctly. So this the station that was in Yotsubashi became a taxi station after. So I think it's Kintetsu. I'm not sure. The head cover for the kids during bombings. We will see more about the bombing at the Peace, Osaka Peace Museum. Pictures are interesting. Let's have a look at those. The Intech Towers we've seen in the stream a long time ago that's in Umeda, the bottom between Hanshin and Hankyu. Try to minimize the distortion of the lens. The Doton restaurant building that I showed you before when we were there. The Osaka Shin Kabukiza. Getting tired, okay. So that became the hotel, as I showed you. Here you can see the difference and what they kept and what they got rid of. The Kintetsu building before Abe no Harukas. This picture is quite important for me. I'm not sure I have it, so I will take it. The Kintetsu department store Abe no before the expo. Shindai Biru building. Rooftop garden of the Shindai Biru building. Lunch break at the rooftop of the garden of Shindai Biru building. So we will talk again about that building. What else do we have here? Entertainment in Kansai. Drama schools and stuff. Festival of the People. They don't actually explain what this one is for. As that's a Okyo ceremony. Okyo-shiki. Un jeu de loi pour les francophones, je sais pas comment on dit en anglais. A Japanese backgammon for shopping. No, gamification of life is not new. Honjo Public Market, Hankyu Department Store. Those Emma, I forgot where those Emmas are from. I forgot which one. I'm forgetting too many things. Oh, okay, that's the one in the back of Shit Energy. So I cannot show you because of the rules on Twitch. Different Emmas of the town. The Namazoe is often referenced in Osaka. You have a nursing Emma. So there is a book actually about the different strange Emma collections you can have in Osaka. This one as well. That's at the which どの神社これ? So it's basically when they would change the sickle, they would get rid of it and put it in that piece of wood to dedicate it. The old objects of the modern Osaka life. Anything here? Some documents about Meiji period, they say. Nothing very fancy for us. And that's pretty much it. Please use the elevator to get to the exit. Really? We need to get the elevator now? We used to go down with the escalators. Okay, anyways. So I don't know. Maybe you want to go to the first floor anyways. Lecture hall, reading room. Ah, okay, I cannot show you that. It must be closed because of the situation. So will the connection hold in the elevator? That would be a first. Okay, not too shabby in here. It was alright. So as I was saying, when you enter, before to enter, if you want to have explanations in English about the museum, what you will see in the museum, you can go to this shop here. And where is it? You can get that book. Okay, the Osaka Museum of History for 1,050 yen. You have explanations. I think they have an English version. Yeah, here it is. That's the one right under. So they have the English version. So it explains enough to go through and understand everything in the museum. So I think it's a good investment. There are lots of pictures, so it's a good souvenir as well. You have expanded version, which is, I don't know, like 12 of those fascicles. So it's a bit more expensive, but you have more explanation. You have the English version as well, of course. It goes a bit deeper with that. So you can do either. That's a good way to understand what you're visiting. Even it's all in Japanese. So you get souvenirs as well, you know, don't worry, you have souvenirs all over. You have nice stuff. I bought a few books in here that were interesting, that I have obviously forgotten with time, so that sucks, but you do have oh yeah, I forgot. We have one thing in there. We do have the time capsule. So at the time of the expo in 1970, they made a time capsule that is stored here. So you can see it, from the outside, but you can see it here too. So, about the time capsules. Held in Osaka in 1970, the Japan World Exposition 1970 attracted more than 74 million visitors. In celebration of the expo, the Mainichi newspapers and Matsushita Electric Industrial Company, now called Panasonic Corporation, jointly undertook the Time Capsule Expo 70 project to create and bury time capsules. The time capsules thus created, aiming to record Japanese culture at that time for future generations, contain 2,098 items, including those associated with everyday life, art, science, and technology. These time capsules made of special stainless steel, each measure 1 meter in inner diameter and weigh 1.74 tons. The one exhibited at the Osaka Museum of History is a replica. It was also created at the time of the expo, but placed on exhibition at the then Osaka City Museum instead of being buried in the ground. How the time capsules were buried and when they will be opened. During the expo, one of the capsules was put on display in the Matsushita Pavilion in March 1971. The two time capsules, number 1 and number 2, identical in size and shape, were buried in front of the tower of Osaka Castle. Time capsule number 1 is scheduled to be opened after 5,000 years, and number 2 was opened for the first time in the year 2000 and will be reopened and reburied every 100 years thereafter. So when we go to the castle, we will see the spot for the place. Unfortunately, I missed the one in 2000, so I will not see the opening of it. That sucks. So this is the thing, this is a replica. Also, some of the ruins or foundations of some remains of the old Naniwa palace and things are on display in the ground of this building. We'll go have a look at that. So you can see here in the ground you see results of some digging. This is from 2010 diggings. Last exploitation they made this. They identified it in 1980. So this is the excavated stone wall of Toyotomi Hideyoshi Osaka Castle. So that was an outside wall. Many things to be said about the castle. There have been two castles. Okay, different place, different size, different maker. So, you know, it's a bit hard to actually find the truth about where were things and stuff. The current one is not at all the original, the one that is praised. It's the later copy. And this is the merchandising for one of the exhibition that will start on 3rd that I want to come back have a look at. Seems interesting. So here we are done. Osaka Museum cards. Okay, it's QR code. I will take one to check. That's QR code, so I don't know what it's meant for. NHK here. Doing recruitment, it seems. There's new employees. Maybe some event, I don't know. The big screen, the 8K screen is closed, turned off. That's a shame. So should we get a drink, guys? I'm thirsty, well, hard, so I think I will take a seat and get a drink. It's done for the day, actually. Shit. I have to go somewhere else. So do I have any solution around here? So guys, need to think about things. I don't know. Can try to go down the street over there. I still have a bit of time on the scheduled streaming time. I started early, but I don't have to stop early. So we'll try to go down and look for a place. I will keep handholding the phone because you know, making all the setup live now would be a pain. So we are looking for a place to have a drink before to move on to the next part of the day. I will put you back to the front view maybe. So I think I will try to find some chest holder to manage this kind of situation. If you have any idea of how to keep my phone fixed on my chest with somewhat ability to stabilize, please tell me in my Discord. We are back on Tanimatiyon. We've seen before on the stream. Junior high school to my left. So to avoid. Hello Zobimu. I'm sorry you missed all the fun of the day. We just finished the museum. So we are now settling down for a drink to end the live. Let's see. The live was pretty tiring for me today because I have to hold the phone in my hand. I was not allowed to have any tripod or gimbal or whatever. So it was a bit of a pain today. I will try the Monaco. Monaco should be alright. Let's do that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of with Obimo. That's totally that. So if you know any model or anything, let me know. I will start looking for it. But I guess it does exist for GoPro, so should be able to find one for phones, or at least a hack to adapt phones on it. I'm pretty confident about that. My right arm is sore. Okay, Monaco is not very cheap, but should be alright. They have cake sets and stuff. Should be okay. Hi. Very old style place. Here you go, guys. I don't have anything to hold the phone actually, so it sucks. Hi. ございます。これ使ってます。はい、すみません。はい。
決まりましたら。
はい、わかりました。So sorry, I will adjust the image in a second. So here we have a few things. Hi, すみません。キリマンジャロのセットで、
はい、ティラミス。
はい。飲み物が、
はい。
セットで、
800円の分だと、コーヒーか紅茶かコーラで、これ以外のドリンクだったら一応はこちらで。
はい。まあね、コーヒーで、アイスコーヒー。
アイスコーヒーで。はい、わかりました。はい。
Well, you know, I live in Japan, so you know, I could be a cosplay boy. You know, there is no issue with that. So actually, let's try something, guys. Let's see if the wide view would be available on the front face as well. We are getting wide, guys. Okay, I need something to hold the phone in the correct place. Give me a second. What do I have to keep it that way? Oh, it's not gonna be dinner, it's gonna just be some cake actually. Ça va être un moment de dégustation, c'est encore pire ce que tu vas avoir. Bon, moi je sais pas avec quoi tenir mon truc, je sais pas ce que j'ai de lourd qui pourrait tenir mon téléphone. Comment? Alors si dans un premier temps je sais, j'ai le verre d'eau. Hop. Ah, je me vois pas des masses, mais c'est pas grave en fait, on s'en fout. So in the end, my recommendation about all this is that actually you should go to this museum because it's pretty interesting. You should buy the small guide, 1050 yen, at the bookshop downstairs in English, and you can go through all the rooms with explanation in English thanks to the book. You can enjoy it. The miniatures, the mood of the rooms, I think it is worth it to visit it. You can buy a ticket that combines the museum and the castle visit. So that combo ticket is a good deal. It makes both of them cheaper. It's very close to it, so you easily go to the castle after you easily go to one after the other, whichever order. So it's definitely a recommendation. I just gave you a glimpse. When you're in there, you enjoy it way more. This neighborhood is very nice to come visit, to see things. You have many things to see. You have the ruins of the palace, you have the museum, you have the castle, you have the Peace Museum, you have the entire park of the castle. It's a lot of things to see in that. Usually when tourists are here, it's quite crowded with Chinese people because the tours enjoy having this integrated set of attractions. Even the Museum of Social Living is not that far. It's like 2 stations, I guess. 1 or 2 stations. So. So guys, this is whiskey to put on my tiramisu. It's just to give a taste, she said. Sure, I will put a taste. It's okay, I have only one lesson, and it's not my usual lesson, it's someone else's lesson I need to cover. So, you know, I can show up drunk, it should be alright. And I really need it because the tiramisu itself is pretty old. You know, it has seen better days. Literally, it has seen better days, not hours. So the whiskey will be necessary to put some taste, to save the situation. Yes, I am pouring all along. Yes, yes. Because it goes really one drop at a time. So. Okay. Forgot about the Monaco. Don't come here. Yes, Zobimo, you did hear well. Very basic though, you know, doesn't have much personality. And she said, just for the taste, you know, don't drink it. I won't drink it. I will definitely have the taste. Glass is design, you know, it's not straight. So for days of rain, if it keeps on coming still, these days we'll go through museums. We did this one. We'll go to Peace Osaka, and we'll go to the house living, social living housing museum. Those are three interesting visits downtown. I will keep those only for rainy days. We have other ones as well, you know. We have the aquarium and a few other places like this. We have the automobile museum next to the aquarium as well. The Lego museum as well. Quite a few places to go to when it's raining. For sunny days, we will keep, you know, choosing one station and going around the station to discover what's in town. We still have quite a few very interesting districts that I know of, and we might discover one or two as well that are very interesting. A few more. This coffee is very French. Definitely not a recommendation, guys. And it's a smoking establishment. So we have smokers around. So I hope for those of you who saw the visit, or the one of you who saw the visit basically, and for those of you who went through, yeah, too bad. Yes and no, you know, it's not the worst part that it is a smoking one actually. The food is not good. So if you went through the VOD, I hope you enjoyed the museum visit despite the hard technical conditions. I will try to make better arrangements for the next museums in case they do have the same rooms. So the wide angle works well on the front camera as well. I don't see any blurriness much, so I'm quite happy about that. You can use it on both sides. So hopefully today some of the pictures I took with the camera will be interesting to put on the Instagram. Maybe some of the live, I don't know. I have a friend who lent me a wide angle lens, the widest I have ever had, 7-14 Olympus. So equivalent 14-28, f2.8, heavy stuff, nice. I did enjoy shooting with it for the little I could do today. It's quite a new approach for me, very interesting. Quite happy with that. Hopefully it will show on the memory card. Squeeze out. Then to spray a little bit to make those masks a bit more livable. Alcohol and natural oils, or essential oils spray. At least you make a nicer smell in the mask. I don't know if it has any utility against the virus, but definitely it has a utility for the smell in the mask. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it for today. I don't think that we have much more to talk about if I'm not going around. Thank you, Zobimu. Thank you very much. As I said today, you know, I have materials I want to use, pictures as well. So I'm looking forward to improving the podcast in even more ways than I actually said. I might start an English version of it, and I will look at using extra images. I will try to make a advanced, technically more advanced podcast with chapters and images and stuff. So I will let you know in the Discord when this goes on, when this goes live. We'll go through a few tries, I guess. But I will get harder on that because the homecast was not good for all the statistics and things. So the podcast, I handle it better. So I think I will do it that way. And all the pictures I want to share, the old pictures of old Osaka, it should be fine on the podcast. So hopefully you will have more to listen to soon and in a more enjoyable form. Oh, by the way, Uzubimo, could you tell me what application do you use to listen to podcasts? T'as quoi comme app? Comment tu écoutes les podcasts? Ça m'intéresse pour savoir comment tester mon contenu en fait. Pour savoir si ça marche ou pas quand je fais des nouveaux trucs. Oh, actually that content could be something on Discord as well, I guess. I have to make up my mind still, but... iTunes, ok. Donc, sur PC, iTunes. Et est-ce qu'il y a deux fois t'écoutes quand t'es pas sur PC? Podcast Addict, ok. Donc je vérifierai s'ils prennent en charge les chapitres et puis les images de chapitres et ce genre de choses. Je pense que c'est bon, je vais vérifier. Sur le PC, ouais, tu auras peut-être du mal à voir les images. iTunes doit gérer le format avancé en M4A, mais après, si tu écoutes, ça doit être en background, donc tu verras pas les images si c'est en background. Donc il faut que je pense à ça. Any collaboration for the podcast you think about? Qu'est-ce que tu entends par une collaboration? Je pense faire des versions des interviews pour le podcast et rerouter certains contenus vers l'un ou l'autre. Oui, on va avoir une évolution sur le podcast avec d'autres gens qui parlent que moi ou qui parlent avec moi. Ça va commencer avec les interviews, mais il y aura peut-être d'autres formats. À l'arrivée, mon format de cœur, c'est plus le podcast que Twitch. Quand même. On essaiera de voir Taro-kun, une interview avec des photos de Cricri et les autres. Il y a des choses pour lesquelles je suis pas très content sur Twitch, donc il n'est pas impossible que je me replace sur le podcast en média principal en fait. J'avais des idées de faire des visites audio en fait au départ en format podcast et je m'étais dit la vidéo live du coup c'est peut-être mieux, mais je suis en train de revenir sur le fait que peut-être une bonne photo avec un bon audio c'est peut-être mieux que Twitch qui est un peu il y a de l'interaction, c'est ça qui est bien, mais ça peut aussi être nocif sur tout le côté business, compétition, etc. Donc, voilà. Surtout que le podcast est en train de subir des évolutions au point de vue financier, donc je suis en train de réfléchir à tout ça. Tout est en mouvement tout le temps. Ouais, moi je suis amoureux ça fait 15 ans que je consomme du podcast parce que c'est vachement bien.
Alors moi par contre, les pubs sur les podcasts, j'ai fait un petit peu à un moment, mais ce sera seulement pour des choses qui sont vraiment dans mon sujet, quoi, pas n'importe quoi. Donc la seule fois où j'ai fait des pubs, je sais pas si tu m'écoutais déjà, mais à un moment j'ai mis des pubs pour Jean et son bar à Romati. Mais voilà, ce sera au mieux des pubs comme ça pour moi, c'est les pubs pour les amis, les pubs pour le business ici en fait. Ce sera pas par agence, etc. Je me suis démonté l'épaule l'autre nuit, c'est super mal. Mon ostéo n'a pas pu me fixer le problème. Si, oui, mais bon, là c'est plus des gens qui viennent de toi, c'est pas des mains. Oui et non en fait. Oui, c'était mes recos, mais Jean me payait pour la petite pub que je mettais. Pas grand chose, mais il me payait quoi. Et si je mets des pubs, c'est cette approche-là que j'aurai. De nouveau, j'en démordrai pas. Je ferai jamais de pub commerciale comme on a maintenant. Par contre, les Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, etc., ça c'est de l'ordre du possible. Coffee was very small. The tiramisu was not good, even with tons of whiskey on it. People are smoking. Yeah, I do not recommend Monaco at the corner, at the exit. Which one is it? Exit 3 of Tanimachi 4 Tome. Yeah, I don't recommend. Après, peut-être que tout ça, ça peut aussi être des contenus en fait additionnels dans Discord. Les idées de podcast avancées que j'ai, ça pourrait être du contenu Discord en fait. C'est à réfléchir. Il faut que je me prenne un petit après-midi à réfléchir à ça. C'est light, après tout, c'est aussi une activité. C'est comme j'écoute des podcasts pendant aussi parce qu'il n'y a pas de pub comme la radio. Ouais. Bah, c'est pour ça que moi je veux que ça relève de l'infomercial plus que de la pub en fait, tu vois. Faut que ce soit un truc vraiment lié à mon sujet. Donc la pub pour les copains, pour les business du coin, voilà. Ça reste vraiment dans le cœur de métier. Donc pas de recours à agence, pas d'entrée dans des. De toute façon, j'ai pas la taille pour, mais pas d'entrée dans des studios comme Radio Kawa et ce genre de choses, ou qualité, ou voilà, c'est des choses, ouais, être dans un monde plus amateur, plus local. Les podcasts sur le Japon se multiplient quand même, il y en a beaucoup qui sont nés là pendant le confinement, pendant la pandémie même en général on va dire, pour élargir un peu. Donc si je veux conserver le mien, il faut que je booste un peu. Explore Japon a vraiment fait un énorme travail de qualité. Il est régulier, il fait du contenu qui évolue, qui est sympa. Donc si je veux rester dans le game, continuer à apporter une richesse particulière, il faut que j'évolue un peu comme lui le fait, parce que voilà, la compétition amicale, mais la compétition en face au point de vue contenu devient vraiment de bonne qualité. Il y a aussi plusieurs podcasts d'interview qui sont pas mal maintenant. Donc, ouais, même sur Twitch, il y a toujours le problème de la langue. Rester en anglais, faire du français, c'est aussi un autre enjeu, une autre discussion. C'est beaucoup de choses comme ça. Mais par exemple sur Twitch, tu avais été sur une expo de producteurs locaux. Il y avait un Belge qui faisait de la bière, Ouais. Après ça, il faut que, tu sais, comme je suis nouveau dans le truc, travailler avec ces gens-là, il faut que d'abord qu'on apprenne à se connaître, qu'on voit comment faire. Mais oui, en plus c'est un ami d'amis techniquement maintenant. Donc on le reverra lui. Hein. Le Belge et sa bière, on en reparlera techniquement. S'il revient à Hankyu, c'est sûr. Et puis même avant ça, c'est la promotion de Kyoto et la promotion de Kyoto fait partie de mon domaine. Je voudrais juste qu'ils changent le nom de leur fromage, mais à part ça, c'est tout. Là, ce sera plus de la promo. On est sur une possibilité vraiment de, pas de pub, mais de promo en fait, davantage, ou par intérêt commun, sans relation financière. La plupart de ces petits projets-là que je rencontre, en fait, souvent ils n'ont pas les moyens de dépenser de l'argent, même si je demanderais très peu. Donc il faut juste travailler sur la bonne volonté ensemble, pas l'intérêt financier direct. Et puis le fait de se prendre avec un micro seulement et un appareil photo, ça gêne moins les gens autour quand même. Avec la caméra, je me fais stopper, hier, je me suis fait stopper dans Whitey, alors que si j'avais été en train de parler dans mon micro et faire des photos à l'appareil, je pense que les mecs m'auraient pas emmerdé en fait. Après, il faut trouver le moyen de la narration qui intéresse les gens. Oh, j'irai pas jusqu'à épique, hein, parce qu'à l'arrivée, ça est resté courtois et tout. Le petit vieux voulait s'énerver un petit peu, mais j'ai rien fait qui puisse l'énerver ou l'autoriser à s'énerver. Donc c'était anecdotique quand même. Et je vais aller voir le management de la galerie pour voir les règles, etc. Parce que je suppose qu'ils se basent sur les règles des espaces publics et sur le droit à l'image, mais dans la mesure où je me fixe pas, où j'interroge pas les gens, etc., on est vraiment à la limite des choses qui peuvent m'être interdites sur la voie publique, quoi. Il y a l'intention qui compte aussi dans la loi sur le droit à l'image sur la voie publique. Donc à quel point ils ont pris ça en compte et tout, voilà. Le mec était vraiment très très limite, il n'avait pas d'interdiction écrite à me montrer, ce qui est un gros problème aussi pour eux. Parce qu'ils doivent, pour prendre des sanctions, ils doivent pouvoir montrer qu'ils ont donné leurs règles particulières qui s'appliquent. Et il n'y avait aucun panneau qui l'interdisait. Donc je vais aller voir le management pour avoir une idée claire et éventuellement même négocier une autorisation de filmer, si c'est dans l'ordre du possible, financièrement, techniquement. En plus, c'est un endroit où ils ont des attractions photos. Ils ont plusieurs spots où en fait ils font des décos pour que les gens se prennent en photo. Donc s'il est interdit de faire des photos dans le souterrain mais qu'il y a une attraction photo, il y a une incohérence là encore, quoi. Donc voilà, je voudrais explorer ça. Je pense pouvoir faire suffisamment l'ingénu pour que ça ne provoque pas de problème, quoi. L'ingénu, hein, pas le neuneu, hein, l'ingénu. Ce sera une aventure à suivre, ça viendra. Mais c'est un problème que j'aurais pas eu, tu vois, si j'avais été avec mon petit micro dans lequel je suis en train de parler et puis mon appareil photo pour prendre 2-3 photos d'ensemble, etc. Même au smartphone, et du coup, voilà quoi. Le smartphone tenu à la main, il m'aurait pas fait chier. Juste pour une photo. Donc, beaucoup de considérations à avoir, tu vois. Après, l'investissement que j'ai mis dans Twitch, même si je faisais moins de Twitch ou si j'arrêtais ou quoi que ce soit, c'est quand même du matériel que je peux réutiliser sur les événements. Je vais définitivement faire de la vidéo sur les Matsuri et ce genre de choses. Donc voilà, ça resterait quand même quelque chose de... Le peu que j'ai investi resterait complètement rentabilisé en fait. Je dis pas que je vais arrêter Twitch, hein, c'est juste dans les considérations générales. Voilà. Sorry for the French channel, guy. I see there are 3 of you here. So we moved to French because we wanted to talk details with Obimou. But if you want to ask questions in English, feel free to do it. You know, I speak English somehow. C'est sûr, le format podcast est plus naturel quand tu te balades pas non plus avec un stabilisateur, etc. Après tout, c'est toujours la force des images, même si tu ne parles pas. Ouais. Après, voilà, les podcasts modernes où tu fais des chapitres, chaque chapitre a une image. Donc tu peux faire des chapitres très fréquents en fait, hein. Tu n'as pas besoin d'avoir des chapitres qui servent de référence, ça peut être juste des chapitres pour défiler les images. Et ça peut faire une sorte de slideshow qui est suffisamment précis pour que les gens suivent ton audio en fait, quoi. C'est travaillable, hein. Je vois des possibilités. Et donc ça permettrait d'avoir la force des images. L'intérêt de tout ça, c'est qu'en fait, le podcast, j'en fais depuis très longtemps. Vous connaissez le podcast Immigré au Japon, qui est depuis 2017, si je me souviens bien. Mais les autres podcasts que vous ne connaissez pas, qui sont pour les Japonais, je les fais depuis les premiers audios qui n'étaient pas encore en format RSS, donc pas podcast techniquement, mais qui étaient volonté podcast, ça devait être 2007-2008. Donc j'ai des productions audio que j'ai maintenues pendant très longtemps. Et là, depuis 2-3 ans, j'étais en plein pod fading. Et l'avantage de Twitch, là, c'est que ça me remet dans la danse, ça me redonne envie de faire du contenu, même si c'est sur des choses différentes. Ça me donne vraiment envie de faire du contenu, ça m'a redonné l'envie, donc c'est bien, quoi. C'est une envie que je vais pouvoir exploiter de différentes manières. Dans le podcast, pour revenir sur la force des images, dans le podcast, j'aurais moins de problèmes de droit audio. Sur un podcast self-hébergé, avant qu'il m'envoie des lettres de cease and desist. Donc au Japon, c'est très dur à faire. Il faudrait qu'il trouve mon adresse et tout. Donc voilà, du point de vue des droits audio, ce serait un peu plus simple, quoi. Je pourrais m'en battre en fait, techniquement. En plus, moi, mon podcast, il est auto-hébergé. Donc, tu vois, ils peuvent faire pression sur personne d'autre que moi, quoi. Donc, je pourrais me permettre des trucs de dingue. C'est pas mon genre, mais je pourrais, en fait. Avec le podcast, je risque rien. Et le podcast, c'est vraiment une liberté, beaucoup de liberté pour tout le monde. Donc, oui, reste à l'écoute, je pense qu'il y a des choses que je vais me remettre à produire des choses qui pourraient t'intéresser pas mal. Ouais, à l'arrivée, il y a probablement quelque chose dans le monde moderne au sujet d'un média mix, en fait, tu sais. Il y a beaucoup de gens où c'est YouTube, Twitch, leur mix, mais c'est pas forcé d'être que ça, en fait. Je pourrais faire un mix différent. Un mix, un peu de YouTube, un peu de podcast, un peu de Twitch, selon les trucs, etc. Le problème, c'est continuer à produire régulièrement pour installer la marque, en quelque sorte, et par ailleurs faire des réflexions stratégiques, prendre le temps de réfléchir où tu vas, comment tu y vas, etc. Tant que tu n'as pas l'étincelle, l'idée de génie, c'est quand même du travail de penser à ça. Et donc c'est ça qui est un peu dur à concilier, mais ça viendra. Je suis pas pressé, je cours pas après la fortune avec ça, donc voilà. On peut laisser le temps au temps. Et je suis preneur de toute suggestion, idée, etc. Bien entendu. J'ai les oreilles grandes ouvertes. Tu écoutes d'autres podcasts français ou anglais sur le Japon, Zobimo ? En ce moment, je suis en train de regarder aussi le mouvement podcast 2.0 et tout. même si c'est des fachos qui s'en occupent, technologiquement, il y a des choses qui sont vraiment très intéressantes. Mensetsu, la première référence d'interview, c'est clair, il fait un super travail. Je crois que c'est Mathieu son prénom, hein, je crois que c'est ça. On avait fait la nuit du podcast japonais ensemble il y a 2 ans. Et au moment où il avait lancé ça, je pensais commencer mes interviews en podcast. Et quand j'ai vu la qualité qu'il arrivait à faire et les contacts qu'il avait, je suis pas très bon pour monter les contacts en fait. Et quand j'ai vu la qualité du travail qu'il faisait, j'ai dit je vais laisser ça à Mensetsu parce qu'il le fait bien. Ma voix n'a rien à apporter pour le moment, donc voilà. Moi je l'écoute avec passion. Mensetsu, c'est un des podcasts que j'écoute vraiment dès qu'il sort. Il questionne bien, il est respectueux, c'est dans des bonnes conditions. Ouais, Gaijin-san, moi, Gaijin-san, il y a des plus et des moins, quoi. Déjà d'une, il y a un des membres avec qui visiblement on s'entend pas sur Twitter. Il m'a bloqué et tout, donc voilà, tu vois, j'ai des remords, même si moi j'ai rien à lui reprocher techniquement, si ce n'est que je pense qu'il y a des choses où je suis pas d'accord avec lui. Mais rien de grave, mais lui m'a bloqué, donc du coup là j'ai des remords. Les contenus, je les trouve pas assez fouillés. Je trouve que les garçons laissent pas assez de place à la femme qui fait ça avec eux. J'oublie les prénoms. Émilie, c'est ça qu'elle s'appelle, je crois. Donc, il parle sur Émilie. Alors je vais dire qu'elle s'appelle Émilie, mais peut-être que je me trompe. Mais il lui laisse pas assez la parole, il parle sur elle. Bon, ils sont plus à l'aise qu'elle, mais quand même. Les sujets sont pas assez fouillés. Mais sinon, point de vue organisation et tout, ils ont monté un truc qui est bien. Mathieu d'Explore Japon, mais aussi que oui. Alors non, Mathieu c'est pas Explore Japon, hein, c'est différent de Explore Japon, Mathieu. Explore Japon c'est Nicolas, c'est ENG. Mathieu maintenant c'est Tokyo Visit, je crois que ça s'appelle. Son projet il est guide. Donc lui il est plus sur Insta maintenant en fait. Il fait du travail sur Insta, il fait des stories sur Insta, etc. Donc il est passé sur autre chose, il a sa propre narration qui n'est pas podcast mais qui est autre chose maintenant. Oui, c'est... Mon problème avec Mathieu, c'est qu'il s'étend au Japon entier. Moi, les guides Japon, ça me traumatise un peu. Pour moi, un guide au Japon, un étranger installé au Japon, ça devrait plutôt être un guide local d'une ville ou d'une région. Donc aller s'attaquer au Japon entier, voilà quoi. Mais il fait du travail de qualité, il fait de la bonne image, voilà. J'ai des considérations politiques dans ce que je lui reproche, pas de politique française, mais d'approche du métier de guide. Mais sinon, il fait du très beau travail, quoi. Il fait de la belle image et tout. Mais du coup, si t'écoutes pas Explore Japon, Nicolas, c'est bien aussi ce qu'il fait. Il est un petit peu trop café boy, mais bon, c'est une approche des choses aussi, quoi. Pixel Bento, ouais, moi le jeu vidéo, c'est complètement sorti de ma vie. Même là, il y a 2 ans, j'ai racheté un PC où je pouvais jouer. J'ai joué à fond 3 mois et puis depuis les jeux vidéo, j'y arrive plus, quoi. J'accroche beaucoup moins aux jeux vidéo que dans le temps. Pourtant, j'ai trouvé des jeux vidéo qui sont dans mon style que j'aime, mais je retrouve pas la niaque que j'avais. Là, j'ai pas ma liste. Tiens, dans Discord, je vais mettre ma liste de podcasts Japon, tiens, plus tard. Ouais, ENG, il fait un contenu abordable, sympa. Il est régulier dans ses publications. C'est la plus grande des qualités, ça. Il fait du contenu qui se recoupe, mais qui se répète pas. À part son obsession du café, non, c'est vraiment un excellent travail. C'est celui avec lequel j'ai le plus de contacts sur les réseaux. On ne s'est jamais rencontrés, mais en plus on a la même approche des visites du tourisme. Donc je pense qu'on s'entendrait pas mal. Il y en a plusieurs autres que j'écoute moi. Il y a un mec du sud qui fait un format d'interview, il en est à 5 ou 6 épisodes. Le titre est pas... C'est La Voix du Samouraï, je crois. Le titre, je suis pas fan, mais le contenu est de bonne qualité. Pas aussi bon que Mensetsu, mais pas loin quand même. J'écoute aussi des podcasts qui sont issus de publications universitaires qui sont pas mal, vraiment deep dans des sujets. Et là, quand je suis pas d'accord, je me dis il faut peut-être que je revoie mon opinion parce que il y a plus de chances qu'eux analysent mieux que moi en fait. C'est rare que j'ai cette opinion-là, donc voilà. Je chéris ces publications-là. On va pas dire que c'est un podcast, mais cette publication audio-là, je la chéris pour ça, quoi, pour le fait qu'elle me renouvelle dans ma façon de penser, dans mon analyse et tout. Ça, j'en suis assez content. Et puis j'en ai un ou deux autres, je pense encore, mais je sais plus ce que c'est. Et ouais, je vais faire la liste, tiens, je vais faire une liste collaborative dans mon Discord, ça me paraît pas mal. Pareil, bonne idée. On va faire une section francophone puis une section anglophone de podcasts. J'écoute pas beaucoup de podcasts anglophones sur le Japon, plutôt des formats narratifs. Ouais, au début j'ai écouté la librairie Yokai et puis j'ai arrêté parce que le sujet me passionne pas des masses. J'ai des sources plus intéressantes pour ça. Il y a un format, il y a un podcast anglophone sur les histoires folkloriques japonaises avec lequel j'accroche mieux. Tu gères l'anglais, donc je mettrai le lien. Je vais faire 2 listes et je le mettrai. Voilà, pour avoir plus du folklore, du lien, parce que tout n'est pas lié à la religion en fait. Donc, c'est une femme qui fait ça. Alors, celui-là, il est bien, je pense. Tu pourrais aimer si tu t'attends à pas trop de religion, mais à du folklore en fait. Et ils s'y connaissent. L'auteur s'y connaît mieux que librairie Yokai. Mais la librairie Yokai, c'est pas mal. Hein, pas ma cam, ça m'a fatigué, mais définitivement du bon travail. Il y en a un ou deux autres qui avaient participé à la nuit du podcast, mais j'ai oublié, mais ils sont quelque part dans ma liste, je regarderai. Abroad in Japan, ouais, bah du coup, vaut mieux regarder la vidéo en fait. Le podcast, il m'a jamais convaincu, moi, Abroad in Japan. Il y en a un ou deux comme ça. Je vais faire des tests parce que je suis vraiment bloqué de ne pas pouvoir avoir mon iPhone principal dans les mains quand je fais les choses parce que c'est lui qui a tous mes liens, tous mes trucs et tout. Et donc je vais refaire des tests avec mon iPhone 6S pour les vidéos pour voir si les lives pourraient tenir. Tofugu, je l'ai écouté il y a longtemps, mais j'ai arrêté aussi. Il y a des mecs dans le sud, c'est quoi, Small Talk About Japan, des choses comme ça, qui parlent vraiment de la vie sur Kyushu, qui est pas mal. C'est des anglophones, là, ils discutent entre eux, machin. Mais à l'arrivée, ils partagent des anecdotes de vie et de trucs qui sont assez intéressants. Ils ont un format YouTube aussi, mais moi j'écoute que le podcast. Small Talk Japan, je pense que ça s'appelle. Bon, il y a beaucoup de fumeurs là maintenant qui sont arrivés, il est 5h30, j'ai 2-3 trucs à faire avant d'aller au boulot, donc je pense que je vais vous laisser là. Merci pour cette bonne discussion, Zobimu. N'hésitons pas à la prolonger dans Discord. Je vois que des fois tu traînes dans les salons audio de Discord. Un de ces quatre, je traînerai peut-être par là aussi quand j'aurai une après-midi de libre. Thank you everybody for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the visit of the museum. If it rains again in the next days of stream, we will go to different places and different museums. I have a small list of museum places where we can go inside for rainy days. So that's it. And the next time, if it's sunny, we will just go to a different station and roam around the station. Thanks a lot for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you again. Please join our Discord if you want to get more information about my schedule, my activities and things. The content will improve in the days to come, so if you want more from me, please follow me on my socials, Instagram for pictures, Discord for the rest. Not so much production on Twitter actually, Instagram and Discord. Thanks a lot guys, and see you tomorrow. Bye.